Let's take you to Israel next, wherein historic showdown is taking place. All 15 judges of the Supreme Court are convening for the first time ever to hear petitions against a legal amendment, which limits the court's ability to scrutinize government decisions. This is a live shot of the court. You can see the judges there gathering and deliberating. On the eve of this pivotal court case, thousands of people took part in a protest in Jerusalem saying that government reforms would erode human rights in Israel. Our correspondent Yolan Nell gave us the latest developments well after months of anti-government protests that brought hundreds of thousands of Israelis out on the street to protest the hardline government's big plans for judicial overhaul. Now really the stage is set up for this big showdown. As you said, all 15 judges of the Supreme Court have now gathered in the court. It's the first time in Israeli history that they've all convened together, so this is something already unprecedented and historic. They really have to decide in a ruling on their own future, on their own face their own powers. So this is just an extremely difficult moment that could lead to a constitutional crisis in Israel. Back in July, you had a situation where the government pushed through changes on the legal amendment that stopped the court from being able to use a legal standard of reasonableness to strike down government legislation to overturn government decisions. Now that cause an outcry, with many Israelis saying that this weakened the independence of the courts. It stopped oversight of the government and weakened democracy ultimately in the country. But then you have the supporters of the government who've also been out in force on the streets, who say that actually the court has become too interventionist. It too easily has been able to overturn decisions by an elected government, and so now really all eyes are on the court during this hearing to see what happens. It's expected to be a very long day in the court, and it won't actually make its final ruling for weeks or maybe months to come, considering, like you say, the court is ruling on its own future fate and powers. Is there any indication? I appreciate we will take some time to find out the result, but is there any indication as to which way the Supreme Court judges might go? Of course, there's just lots. According to critics, the government obviously says otherwise. We've seen months of protests throughout Israel. There are significant numbers, though, that do support these planned reforms. It's expected that it would take weeks, if not months, for the Supreme Court, as Yoland was just saying, to make their decisions.